SirenSong lover, coming in for a reading. Hope you're doing well today. Do energy clear for the collective. Energy read. Feeling sleepy and cold today, so yeah. We'll have to get some mana, get some fire going on up in here, which we've already had a lot of around here today. We were hanging out with the ancestors today and just ancestors, guardians being the pets. I know it sounds weird to call the ancestor, like the pets, guardians and ancestors, and yet they hold such wisdom, knowledge, and secrets for us. Hello, how are you, my love? How are you doing today? Saturn. So Saturn, we think saturation, water, those mercurial water signs. I hope you're having a good day. I know I said all that already. I'm trying to get moving in the spirit of channeling energy. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm not the only one just kind of getting the day moving. I'm feeling sleepy. I've been moving around a lot of energy today. And I've been doing a lot of like healing integrative work. So it's been a challenge. I've been working with my boyfriend who's kind of like coming up in the ranks and or not in the ranks, but like I'm training him in like spiritual manners, like how to make protection and stuff. And so that was kind of our day, was doing protection work together and integration. So I'm just sleepy, I guess. So yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, it's I have so much infinite knowledge trapped within me that when I can share it with someone and they can actually, and being that my boyfriend's a boy, like he's a doer, so like the information that I give to him and then he turns around and he actually does something with the information. So it's refreshing to have someone that actually takes the information they give them and utilizes it. Yeah, so it's, yeah. And like I say, I've been doing like the materials that we were working with are from a little bit back, and they carry some spiritual weight for me personally. So working with it today also brought back like the timeline of what was going on when I was acquiring these materials. So there's been some closure of chapters there too. So it's kind of like a weird little culmination of cycles closing on my end. So yeah. And I love that I'm teaching my boyfriend practices because he's kind of younger. So the principle is that when he goes on to have his own family and have his own life, then he will have these principles to share with his family and help protect his lineage and his heritage. So that, yeah, hopefully that's not too chatty, or hopefully that makes sense. Or I guess my biggest thing is knowledge is meant to be shared. So when we learn something, how do we turn around and teach it? The mother, I love that. The mother is, how are you taking the pearl, the wisdom, the knowledge that you have within you and embodying it? How are you bringing forth your own universe? Like for me personally, I'm sharing my knowledge and with others so that they can create their own cosmic womb, the eternal child. I love that this came out as a confirmation, how just you have to constantly be learning, constantly growing, constantly expanding. Beautiful confirmation. I love these cards today. They just popping with the synchronicities, popping with the knowledge, with the wisdom pearls, just the cave. And this is, how do you go within? How do you hermit to be able to find your own answers? So when I see it, and I love that the mother and the eternal child came out together, because it's like how, it's the whole chicken and the egg. Are we really grown up, or are we all just little children still trying to figure it out and manage life? So we have to go within. We have to be willing to face the darkness alone. So, beautiful confirmations. What's going on in your world, my love? How's the day treating you? Do you have big plans for the day now that you've started the day off with some food? Hopefully. Let's see if there's any other little kernels of wisdom in this deck to be given. So, okay. What kind of dancing were you doing last night? So, the two cards that came out off of this is the Dead End. How do you sometimes need to take time to rest? When your body tells you to stop and to rest, embrace it. Because Thanatos came out underneath. So both of these cards feel very much like webs. It's like we have run ourselves to the point of exhaustion, and we need to stop and pause and rest and release. Oh, 90s is a lot of fun. I don't know where you fall in the age range, because 90s maybe. Like, I laugh because I deal with both older and younger generation. I'm kind of like a little sandwich. So I laugh when the teenagers are like, oh, I love 90s music. And I remember when the older generation was complaining about how radical and revolutionary and disrespectful 90s music was. And I was like, I was alive during that time, so I experienced it firsthand, and I heard the older generation complain about it, and the younger generation is now finding it relevant. And I'm like, how did life evolve like this? Like I know some people who are like way into Nirvana, and I'm like, yeah, I was barely alive when Cobain. So like when people are like, I love Nirvana, and I'm like, yeah, I remember hearing about the news of that. Yeah. So I mean, all right, fair. I have such a weird, like, I was born in the 80s, and all my siblings were a lot older than me, and my parents were a lot older than me, so I have music ranging from like big band, swing, Rat Pack, all the way up to like today. I have quite an eclectic taste. So, okay. Well, so for you, it was like these were music, like these were like probably kids' bop songs for you. And not to be like, yeah. The music you went out dancing to last night were probably like songs you grew up with. So it was just a weird little nostalgia bubble, probably. So. All right. The threshold. This speaks to being on the very beginning of something and being courageous to step forward, courageous to keep going even if it looks scary and intimidating. The threshold. Are you on the precipice of something, and are you willing to take that leap of faith? Because if you are, like, beautiful things come forward for you. So, the castle, I love it. If you're willing to push through that threshold, regardless of how scary it is, you bring in the castle. You bring in everything that you could ever want and more, all of the luxury, all of the pearls, all of the beauty. Be willing to push through fear to get something you've never had before. Like, doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So if you want something new, be willing to do something new that's scary, that maybe no one else has tried. Like, pivot. I love talking about that, pivot. I talk about that with my boyfriend all the time. the shaman. This is a beautiful confirmation. The shaman, this is how are you integrating every element, every piece, every part of your life to tie it all together and live your best life. The prayer, sometimes it is having that faith. It's having that faith in you. It's having that faith in something outside of you. Sometimes that prayer is just like, please let me get through this moment. Let me baby step through this moment. You have to have faith that you'll get through it, because you always do. 100%. You always get through your hardest times. It may not look pretty. It may hurt like hell. You may have to stop and rest. Keep going. The prayer, keep going. Even if that prayer is just like, for me, it's like, hey, Lyra, do the hard thing. I do that all the time. Like, I was talking with my partner today, or no, I wasn't talking with my partner today. It was like, I was doing something and I was having a hard time, and I had to have like little pep talk with myself. And it's like, okay, Lyra, like, it's not that hard. You just have to one foot in front of the other. Like, sometimes that prayer is like, Lyra, put your foot in front of the other and walk forward, because that's all it takes to get the ball rolling. So, and the one. You are the one. You are the creator of your own universe. Be willing and brave enough to step forward and embrace it. Answer the prayer within you. Answer the inner child prayer within you to be the best creator of your own life. And hopefully that makes sense. It's like, if you look in the mirror today and you say, would inner self me be proud of themselves? Like, if inner self me at age 5 sent out a prayer for this life that you have today, would they be proud of how you're living? If they are, awesome, congratulate yourself and be like, oh man, like for me, it'd be like, oh man, 5-year-old Lyra would be like so geeked out about how she's living, because she never thought that life could be this big. And why aren't we creating more of that? Like, if you look at your inner child and you're like, yeah, so-and-so would be so proud of me, or they'd be like, oh man, you need to do some work on yourself, then have that conversation. I also like to look at like future self, be like, future self I'm like thanking myself, like future self is thanking me for putting in the hard work and doing the hard thing today, even though I didn't want to. So the cool thing is like, your future self is so excited that you got up today and that you kept doing it. So think about that too. Like, your future self is so geeked out that you're doing the thing. For me, it was like, I never would have picked up tarot cards in my life. And that's something I probably would have loved. Actually, I know I would have loved it as a child. I was like the potion maker as a child. I was the Dr. Dolittle as a child. I would have loved it. But now I look at it and go, 5-year-old Lyra would have been like, yeah, girl, you're making it. And future me is like, yeah, girl, you were so scared to get your first tarot deck, and now you're here. Like, you never thought you would be here. You were never even privy to this world. Like, you didn't even know this world existed until 4 years ago. Like, look how far you've come. Even if it just means one day at a time, or even if it means for 5 days you don't do progress, at least keep going. You'll be happy you did. Hopefully that's... Whoop, that was a lot of cards. These cards are like so stiff and they stick together all the time, which is... Okay. So when you went dancing, did you go to a club? Or was it like, what type of environment was this? I'm curious. I have to live vicariously because I was home. What was I doing? I was home hanging out with my animals, which is what I do every Friday night when I don't have company, I guess. The animal. How are you staying in tune with your inner divinity? How are you staying in tune with your inner instincts, the pilgrim. This is how are you making that trek, that voyage within you to create your best life. Okay, so get in tune with your inner calling, your inner animal, and make that journey within, make that trek, that village. Figure out what your abundance is, your harvest. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. The thread. Okay. This is a beautiful reminder of how we are all interconnected. We are all connected. Like when you have a thought about a person, you are very connected to them. You will literally pull a little thread that is attached to them. If you start pulling it hard enough, they'll start coming towards you. We are all interconnected. This is a beautiful lesson also, is that when one of us hurts ourselves intentionally, that thread weaves along the line and it hurts the people that you're connected to and that you love the most. The biggest gift you can give to other people is to take good care of you. Hello, how are you? I am Lara Jo, SirenSong lover. We are pulling from the Wild Unknown Archetype deck currently. Come on in. The thread, this is how we are all delicately interconnected and interwoven. We are all finally connected through a gentle web. Do you want to ask any questions, Serenity of the Wind? Seek any guidance? You just here to hear the teas, see what guidance comes through. Hopefully we get some good synchronicities for you. I may be switching over to the tarot deck pretty soon. The shadow, integrate. Okay, I love that your question came through right now. The shadow. The shadow speaks to like the integration of ourselves. So when people hide stuff about you, it's because they're truly like they're hiding stuff about themselves. So it's like if they were to actually expose what they have going on, it would expose that they were a fraud. So people hide stuff about us because if they were to truly show their, like, so say if you were a really talented person and someone wanted to keep you secret, that's because it's like they want that all for themselves. So they want to cultivate that talent within them, so they would tell you, hey, don't follow that. And then they would go off and follow it because it's like they saw it in you. That's okay, actually. A lot of people hide stuff about you because it's like they see it in you. And if you were to see it in you, you would realize that you wouldn't want to hang out with them. Does that make sense? Hopefully I wrapped that out. Okay, so it's like I went through like a huge clearing and purging with my family, and my family hid a lot of stuff from me and they intentionally kept me out of the circle, which now I look at and I go, that was actually protection. The people that wanted to keep me out of the circle and like disclude information from me, they thought that they were hurting me, and that actually protected me, because if I knew what they were doing, I wouldn't want to hang out with them. Like I went through and I cleaned out a lot of my closet and removed a lot of my family because they were lying to me. And I looked at it and I was like, if they weren't my niece, I wouldn't be friends with them. So now that I've seen that they've hurt me or they've lied to me or they've tried to keep information from me, why would I want to hang out with them in any capacity at all? So like people will hide things from you because they see that you're really good at something or they see that you're really intelligent, and then they'll be like, oh, if they're really intelligent and they follow that, they would find out that I'm a fraud. So it's kind of a, like, people don't want you to shine, because then that would shine that they're not good. Hopefully that, like, I had a lot of sleight of hand with my family, and they tried to do some stuff, and it's like me asking too many questions. It was like, then I started realizing that they had really big masks on, and I didn't want to be anywhere near them, nor did I want my children anywhere near them, nor did I want anyone that I loved and or cared about anywhere near my family, because I knew that they were hiding things that would be detrimental to me and my children. So it's like, people will hide stuff, especially if you're like, say you catch on to something, like say you see behind someone's personality and you're like, hey, I don't like that person. They will go out of their way to make you seem like you're the problem, so that nobody will catch wise that they're actually the problem. So I don't know. There's a lot of weird dynamics going on out in the energy world, and it's like, there's a lot of people, like, the closer we get to the truth of knowing who we are or what the situation is, the angrier they get, and the more they double down on trying to make you seem like the problem. Hopefully I don't know. That's experience speaking. Hopefully you can gather the information out of it, or see the parallels that maybe there's truth in what has happened to me and what's happening to you. I've had a lot of time to sit and watch people be stupid and sneaky and put all the pieces together, so that when they do something, and I can sit back and go, I know why you did that, because this is your end goal here. So, and tarot is a lot of like human psychology and archetypes. So it's like, certain people in society move certain ways, and if you can identify their pattern, you can predict how they're gonna move. Best of luck, my love. I hope you have a great day and safe travels to you. The unseen. There are unseen things all around you that are both watching to keep tabs and both watching to help. So lean into the unseen. Even though you can't see it, even though you can't feel it, does not mean that it is not real. And if you want to know more about it, start getting curious, start asking, start looking for whatever the signs are to see what could be causing that. Ooh, that was way too many cards. All right. The crone. The crone is embodying that old wisdom. The crow is a very wise animal, and I know it's the crone, but the crone is typically guarded by the crow, because they are kind of the same archetype or the same vibe. It's knowing how to survive and get along and find happiness with ancient wisdom, because crows carry that ancient wisdom. They're old creatures, so it's carrying that ancient embodiment of the bigger picture. All right. Whew, that was the Bardo. So I always look at the Bardo as, how are you the observer and the driver of your own life? How are you creating everything? Like, how are you seeing everything above and below, the full cycle, and becoming the creator, the master and commander of your own life? All right. And this card came back out for confirmation, is the One. So you are the master and creator of your own life. Start acting like it. Start pulling in the pieces in your life. Use your ancient wisdom, because when you start unlocking life pattern healing, here's what no one really talks about or realizes. when you heal these patterns in this world today, and you can accept those lessons and you can transmute that energy, you will start getting past life energy and lessons and people to transmute. And that sounds exhausting, except for when you unlock past life stuff, you also unlock past life gifts. So gifts that you had in a past life, like say in a past life you had pyrokinesis. Well, when you do the deep healing to heal this lifetime and you do the deep healing to heal the past lifetime, you also unlock the past lifetime's gifts and abundance and inheritance. So it's not just like people say, oh, healing's hard. Yeah, but when you heal time lengths. So be brave enough to do it. I promise it's worth it. Like I've pulled past information, past lifetimes into this lifetime because I know that when I put that wound to bed, I heal that past, present, future in both directions. So be willing and brave enough to do the really hard stuff that scares you, that you don't understand. The answers come, I promise. Like when I started healing, I was like, why would I want to heal? I lost everybody. Like doing the bad stuff was more fun, except for I was stuck in the pattern and I was going to have to come back again. So why not? I love this card coming out for confirmation, the healer. This is integration, past, present, future. How are you using the mother, the maiden, and the crone, or the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? How are you using the Trinity of knowledge within you to heal yourself? How are you using your past knowledge to be able to form a hypothesis of what's going on in your life now? How do you use the present knowledge to move forward? And how do you use the future knowledge to fuel what your dreams, desires are today to be able to create that? So when you start healing, you start being able to create the best life so that you don't have to keep reincarnating. When you heal yourself, you heal every lifetime. Be brave enough to do it. It's hard work. I promise it's worth it. I say one more, and then a bunch came out. You know what? Okay. And actually, these are some beautiful. I'm only gonna take all of those, but I'm gonna take all of those. And then I think I'm gonna switch decks, or get out a sound bowl, or get up and move around for a minute. I don't know. I'm feeling like a change of position is about necessary. We'll see. Okay. The heart. The heart. How are you making decisions through your heart? Like in your soul, what feels right? The poet. Use all of those feelings within your heart to create your beauty, your magic, your love. The bridge. So I love that the bridge came out because the heart truly is the bridge between all of the chakras. So the heart is number 4 in the portal. So you have the first 3, which crown, third eye, throat, the heart, and then going down, solar, root, sacral. I don't know why I was having such a hard time with that. So the heart is that bridge. When you start integrating your heart with your art and your love, you will start bridging into your greatest life. In the temple, going within, answering the prayer within your life. Your body is the temple. Your body is the temple. Treat it as such. You are God having an experience of yourself. Okay. Like I know I'm like rubbing my face. I had it earlier. I was clearing out some like nasty junk from my throat chakra area, and So I'm like releasing stuff, and yeah, I don't know if any of that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But my hair is itching. I'm releasing stuff up in my throat today. Again, I was doing a lot of energetic work where I've been releasing like years, decades, past lifetimes today with the energetic work that I was doing. So it's to be expected that I would also have a lot of energetic releases internally as well, like physiological releases. So yeah, it's the healing work. Nobody likes how it makes you feel body-wise, healing work, and yet releasing that energy from within your body is incredibly helpful and healing as well. And a lot of that energetic work I do through breath work, I do meditation, I do Reiki, sound therapy. I just all day long, like, spirituality is not like a fad or a trend. It literally is my life. Like, I am constantly dealing with energetic work. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter. Like, I get messages from source at all hours of the day and time. Like, people that think like spirituality is like, oh, it's just fun, it's casual. No, like, when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on to source, and you're constantly on call. So yeah, you just have to be willing to go through the ick in order to have the good. Like, you have to be able to be willing to break through the scar tissue to have healthy. So it's being willing to face the pain, being willing to face like the hard times to get through it. Six of Pentacles. How do you look at the past and balance your finances? So doing all of these releases, how do I look at like my past and the finances, and how do I say, this needs to be more balanced? Like, yeah, so I mean, it's as much of a lesson for me with healing and release and tarot as well, and having this strength. I love the confirmations, having this strength, Leo energy, to persevere, to keep going on, to keep singing your song. Like, one of the biggest things that I've had go on with my life is that no matter who's told me that they don't agree with me, or, I mean, I've had whole bunches of people, whole families come against me, and I've stood 10 toes down for what I believed in, regardless of how many people didn't like what I had to say. So when you find something that you believe in, stand on business. Be strong in the face of adversity. Like, that is, I don't care how many people I have against me, if it's something that's right. And I mean, like, right for women, children, for all of humanity. It's not just right for, like, me. It's like, no, this is right for everyone. I'm willing to stand 10 toes down by myself for what I believe in. So, and I've had, like I say, I've had armies of people come against me, and I'm still like, yeah, you know what? Just because it's the majority vote doesn't mean that it's the right vote. Just because it's popularly accepted by the whole group doesn't mean that it's right. The whole group needs to be re-examined, because these principles have been hurting the whole population, and it needs to be recognized and restructured. So it's not for the faint of heart, standing against people that want to stay stuck in like stuck patterns. Oh gosh, I can't talk anymore, I guess. Yeah. I know this is personal, and maybe this isn't the place to talk about it. Like, we all as a humanity struggle with like mental health issues, and it's so stigmatized, and I'm super tired of that. And I came from a family that, yeah, I caught on to what they were doing. It was wrong, and I started saying something, and then they tried to attack my credibility. And I'm talking about like grown men in a full courtroom, like trying to attack my mental stability and credibility, and won't actually look at the whole entire picture. And is one of those, like, they say, like, they think having, like, seeking treatment for mental health is weak, and it's like, no, man, it is so strong to face every day when you have mental health issues. Like, people that deal with depression, and, like, I've dealt with depression since I was a little kid, and that goes back to all of the abuse that I endured in my family, and that's whatever. But, like, to face depression every day and to get help for it is one of the bravest things, and people don't realize that, and people don't understand, and they like to shit on it, and I'm so tired of that. Just like sobriety, like, I fought really hard to get sober. No one else in my family wanted to. They all said that I was stupid. Like, I lost my family because I chose sobriety. Like, they wanted me to be drunk and falling down because then they could use me as the scapegoat and keep doing bad things. So it was like, I don't know. Okay, well, that was really heavy, and I don't know. It's a thing. Okay. Anyway, it takes a lot of strength. I guess that it takes a lot of strength to face whole families that want to make you the target and still stand up and say, you know what, I'm not going to put up with this. Like, yeah, it's not like I'm just like letting it out like that. Like, it feels so fucking heavy, and like it's so bleh. Anyway, I guess like the biggest thing is like I had some old men try to condemn me last week, and I was like, you can't shame and guilt me when you're the same men that put me in this shitty situation. Like, I'm not gonna ever let another old white Christian man shame or guilt me for having wants, needs, desires, or ever being sexually abused. Because I'm like, yeah, no, it was you, like, the lawyers that tried to make me look stupid. I'm like, it's because of men like you that the people that did what they did to me get to walk. And it's also the men like him that my daughters aren't safe, because it's men like him that put my kids in that house happily. Like, the legal system, the judicial system is super screwed, especially in the United States, wherever you're at. And, like, anyway, I'm frustrated with the whole situation. Like, my family used my children as pawns because they knew that if they had my kids in their control, that I wouldn't speak out against them and their abuse. They still have control of my kids. And my kids buy into it, and I just, I don't know. It's, you know, like, I wanted to protect my kids. My kids give me, and, like, I don't mean to talk about my kids yet. This is such a, they're mad at me because I didn't break the pattern. I'm like, well, I'm breaking it now so that my grandkids don't have to go through it. Like, I couldn't protect myself. My parents didn't protect me. My parents were ones doing it. My parents didn't protect me. I couldn't protect myself. And then I was completely unaware, and my family did what they did to me, to my kids, and I couldn't protect my kids. I just want to protect my grandkids. Like, I want to get my kids out of the system, because I know what their life looks like if they stay in that family. Like, I lived it. I fought really hard to get out of it. Okay. Anyway, okay. Thank you. I'm gonna keep moving. That was
it's a side that I don't really share with too many people because nobody wants to hear about it and nobody cares, and nobody actually stops to see like they all believed my ex's story. It was like his life was so great, yet all of us were all having mental health issues and medicated in therapy, but his life was great. And when I said that there was a problem, everybody turned around and accepted that he. Anyway, yeah, it's not something I really like to talk about a lot, but it is probably also something that a lot of people can relate to and have experienced. So I don't know. I like to look at things like, if I can do it, anyone can. Like, if I can get out of that situation, anyone can. I was willing, though, I had to walk away. Like, I knew that if I stayed in that situation, it would be the end of me. And I was willing to take that leap of faith. So, I don't know. I know nobody wants to talk about healing. Nobody wants to talk about the spiritual journey, but I'm alive today because I decided to heal, and I decided not to stay in those families. Like, I decided to walk away from families, even though I walked away from everything. I lost everything by walking away, and yet it's still more peaceful than staying in that house. It's still more peaceful than staying around that family. Also, though, a lot of like that stuff too ties back to the spiritual world and spell work, and like my family's done bindings on me, and binding and spell work and binding in the real world actually looks like court cases, and it looks like CPS cases. Like, they've done all of it. They've done death magic on me. When I say like if I stayed I was going to die, like they literally have sent death magic to me, binding, roots, demons. So I don't know, that's all a big story. Like, that's all like a big bubble of stuff to jump into as well. So I've had a lot of things happen spiritually, so it's been a crazy ride. And I'm sorry, I know it was like all over the place. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you found some resonance or something from it. I try not to lose my crap, truly, but you know, life is really hard. Like, we all need to realize no one's perfect. No one has a perfect life. Like, everyone's struggling, and we're all so afraid to ever admit that we're struggling, or that we need help, or that we're lonely, or I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take a pause for a moment. I'm gonna hop up and move around for a minute. I need to clear some of that energy out. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna ring the energy bowl, or the sound bowl, though. So I have I want to clear that energy out. It's like stuck and stagnant, and I don't like it. So this is the sunset bowl. So I'm gonna ring this out. This is beautiful. We're gonna tap into that sacral chakra energy, our personal sunshine. I'm gonna clear out all that ickiness and like bring in just light golden energy into our solar plexus chakra. I think I said sacral. I meant to say solar plexus. Okay, so take a big breath in and let it out. Okay, so I love tarot, just tarot references. Like, having hanged man epiphanies sometimes are so just lovely. When you are loved, I have the house for all of the kitties that are like the
failure to thrive or failure to adopt. So it's like I have all the special needs, like grumpy kitties that nobody ever wanted. I am very loved by like the unlovable creatures in it. Not unlovable, but just like I do give home to the creatures that haven't found refuge anywhere else. So I am loved by some of the creatures that are the most fierce and protective and amazing that no one else in life gave a shot to. So I love that that came through when I was ringing the sun bell. I'm going to do one more ring through that. I was just thinking about one of our kitties today who's a grumpy guy, and he was being so sassy. And I was like, you know what? He earned it. He's had a hard life. All right, take a big breath in, blow it out. I'm gonna hop out. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. I'm just gonna take a quick little walkabout. Be back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Had to do a little walkabout. I may have to go for another walkabout in a minute and get something. I'm cold. I went out to see my grumpy kitty. Yeah, so the one kitty that I was talking about, like Mr. Grumpy here, he is like the Michael Myers of kitties. Like, I love him, but he's like mommy's little monster. Like, he's such a little jerk to everyone, and I'm just like, oh, I love you. Our other kitty, I have a multitude of kitties. They're the guardians, right? They're ancestors, they're guardians, they're protectors, like they're guides. And I kind of do like a little kitty dating service, like matching service. So like I am naturally a matchmaker, and somehow I have these cats that's like I have the human that would go with them. So it's like I match make kitties with the personalities of the humans in their life, and I don't even know. So anyway, Mr. Grumpy Fatbutt here wanted to throw paws because he was acting like a temper tantrum. So imagine trying to wrestle a cat the size of a raccoon that don't want to be wrestled. He's a little bully. And then we have Alcatraz, who Alcatraz was born in the prison, and then the prison guards caught her, which I don't know how, because she is like the Tasmanian devil, and then spent over 2 years in the shelter without being adopted. And I came along and found the meanest cat and said, yep, she's mine. Took her a hot minute to warm up, and now she's part of the colony, and I couldn't imagine life without her. Like, she went from being such an antisocial cat, like you couldn't even look at her without her hissing to you, to now I've had her almost 8 months. Like, we're on the 8-month threshold, and full socialization with all the kitties, full, like, just, she's part of the crew. Like, you would never, I mean, you might believe that she was a prison kitty that wasn't socialized for 2 years, but she's part of the crew. I mean, when she first came, like I say, nobody could even touch her. When she gets angry, she's incredibly powerful and strong. My boyfriend and I have had that experience, but she, again, one of the kitties that she hadn't found a home in over 2 years, and I came along and I said, yep, she's mine. Mommy's little monster. I mean, I love her. I am her person. She kind of likes my boyfriend. She kind of likes my, one of my progeny, but no, she's mine. She's mine. She's, yeah, she likes to bite me, though. She's very sassy. I have to remind her that, like, love doesn't equal pain. She don't have to bite me to get me to pay attention to her or to pet her. So her and I have to, actually, that is a beautiful learning and growing and healing lesson for her and I, is that love doesn't have to hurt. We don't have to bite people to get love that we need. So my lesson with Alcatraz is, like, how do we ask for love and accept it? Because she's one of those, she hated being petted because she hadn't gotten affection. So she wasn't used to people petting her. Like, it took months for anyone to truly be able to pet her. And now, like, I'm one of the only ones that can pet her, that, like, she won't leave me alone. But it was like, girl, if you had just learned how to be nice, like, you could have been getting pets this whole time. So, I don't know. Maybe it's weird to talk about cats, but it's part of the healing also. Like, I wasn't truly allowed to have pets. Like, that was always a sticking point. So now that I have my own life, my own home, I can bring into it whoever and whatever I wanted. That was the beauty of singledom. I had spent my whole life being under my family's control or under a man's control, that when I I got to start to build my own life the way that I wanted to. And I remember I was dating a guy and he's like, oh, well, you can just get rid of your animals. And I was like, yeah, no, you get to go find a new home before I ever find new homes for any of my animals. And I know that sounds really harsh, but like if a man comes in and he doesn't realize that my animals are a part of my life, then he doesn't need to be a part of my life. Like, I would rather keep all of my animals, especially because all of my animals are kind of like special. Not all of them are special needs, but like they do have special like quirks and personalities, and it would be harder for all of them to find homes. So I would rather rehome a man than rehome my animals. And the man that wanted me to do it was a karmic life partner anyway. Like, he was a past life connection that I need to learn, like lesson I need to learn. So when he was like, get rid of your animals, I'm like, yeah, no, bro, don't call me again. But it was cleaning out like a past life karmic pattern. So I was very happy to say goodbye to that pattern and not ever date someone like that again, and get to keep my animals, because my animals are way cooler than he is. That's the other part. Like, we all grew up so fast. So I grew up in the 80s. We all grew up so fast that we're becoming like the crazy single cat lady very young. Like, we're not hitting 70s anymore. We're hitting 40s. And we're like, you know what? I'd rather go live with a bunch of cats than ever have to deal with a man's bullshit ever again. Catherine LeBoy, the patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. So I'm pulling from the Divine Feminine Oracle deck currently. Beautiful deck here. Catherine LeBoy, the patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. So be willing to step into the miracles that want to unfold in your life. It is around you, all around you. Those are beautiful messages for me to remember. How many kitties do you have, Zara? Let's see if there's any other. Let's see. Amaterasu, the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. Amaterasu, the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. We are all one. We are all one. We are not separate from each other. So when you start realizing the light within you is the light you see within others, right? I get it. I have 2 adult kitties and 3 kind of teenager kitties. So it's kind of a thing. Yeah. How small are your small kitties? And the beauty of, like, when they're younger, like, it's easier to have them adopted when they're younger. So, oh, yeah. So it'll be easy-ish, hopefully, to have them adopted. Are they fixed or are they unaltered? And, okay, I love that you talk about kitties. I mean, I obviously talk about kitties, but you can tell a lot about someone who doesn't like cats. or cats that don't like humans. Like, that tells me a lot that I need to know about people when they tell me they don't like cats. Because I'm like, you don't like creatures that have boundaries and protect themselves. So, okay. Meow Sean, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. I know I'm going to say that totally incorrectly. Meow Sean, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. When we give up our burdens, we will receive freedom. When we give up the things that no longer serve our highest purpose, we receive freedom. Be willing to give up your burdens so the universe can replace them with blessings. And okay, apparently I just chose all the hard cards to pronounce, and maybe that was the whole point. So are all your kitties living outside? Or you have a few in the house? I know I'm asking so many questions. I don't know how the rest of the world lives, I guess, sometimes. The rest of the world meaning anyone outside of my own little world, because I don't get out much. I would love to be able to have kitties outside for pest control, except for I live in the woods, and it's very dangerous. I had one outdoor kitty. She lasted not very long, like a week. Where we live, it's not safe for them. Yeah. And I love, like, the community that I live in. They have spay and release, and they do the ferals. They do, like, a low cost, like, they spay and neuter the ferals and release them. And I love that for our community. And they actually do have, like, feral cat rehoming, so I love that for our community also. But it's, population control is important. Enheduanna, the high priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Enheduanna, the high priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Everything is love. I mean, ultimately, even the hard stuff, even the dark, even the scary, that's all love. It's all meant to help us grow and evolve. So, yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to move. I feel like those are some really beautiful messages from the Divine Feminine Oracle. I'm going to keep moving for right now, though. Okay, keep moving so I don't fall asleep today. I can't figure out. Well, I've been doing a lot of releases, so I was like, I can't figure out why I'm so sleepy. No, I've been doing a lot of releases. Especially the last few days, which again coincides to heavy times. Yeah. Okay, so nap time, except for I don't know how to nap. I mean, I like to say I know how to nap, but I don't really know how to nap. And I still probably won't go to, it's 5:30 now. I still probably won't go to bed until like 3 in the morning and then be up at some whatever awful hour. I don't know. I find it weird, like the older I've gotten, the more all-nighters I'm starting to pull, which is, I thought I'd be getting more sleep the older I got, and apparently I'm not. I don't know. You have any big plans for tonight? I pulled out the Lover's Oracle. I'll just pull some okay, so like, I do lay down when I'm sleepy. I don't know. It's hard. It's very hard for me to actually sit still. Nice. What type of homework are you doing? And please tell me you're eating something absolutely scrumptious. If you don't, and I can always give you spiritual homework, you know that. Hopefully Cottagecore went and did their inner child letter, because that's always a beautiful, hard experience. This is a beautiful card that just popped out. Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. That is the beauty of things. Like once you, probably hanging out with my animals. I'm always hanging out with my animals. I don't really go out too much anymore. Right now it's been, my Saturn, actually let's back that train up. My Saturn night will be one of resting and integration and preparing, because Libra seasons come in and I need to get my crown, dethawed. Like rest and integration, because Libra season's coming and we are so in our villain arc right now. So like I gotta be prepared and rested. My crown, yeah. Okay. All right. Thai cuisine. Ooh, yummy. Hopefully you live in a place that has decent Thai. Or are you making your own? Do you make your own Thai? Let's see. Okay. Do you have good recipes? Romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. Romance. Cupid's arrow strikes. What part of the country are you in? Or what part of the world are you in? I guess I should ask. I might have to hit you. I may have to like exchange. This is going to sound so boomer. Well, okay, California, yes. And depending on where you are in California, yes, because they have, so many immigrants. Okay. North, south, east, or west. Well, not west, I guess. Not west. Okay. North, south, east. Okay. So you probably got like a different kind of clientele moving north. Okay, fair. I was a West Coast girl for like I was Arizona born and raised for a long time. So California was kind of like we spent a lot more time on the West Coast. So like Oregon, Washington, Canada, California. I spent a lot of time at Disneyland. People are like, oh, have you ever been to Disney World? I'm like, no, but I've been to Disneyland a million times because we lived 6 hours from Orange County. So I get it. Okay. Yeah, one of my former best friends lives in Oregon. Before we moved to where we moved to, I would have moved to Oregon instead of moving here. And yet here we are, and that actually aligns with my spiritual soul path. So, intuition, source, God puts you where you need to be, and then you just have to go with it, even when it doesn't make sense or even when it hurts. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay, so I have heard of astrocartography. I would like to do more deep dives or find more people that are into it that I can share knowledge with. And the reason being is because, yes, that's how I figured out I was supposed to be where I am currently, is not like, I didn't know until I knew way after the fact. Like, where we are currently is a huge intersection point on my astrocartography chart. And I didn't learn that until years after the fact. So, like, when we moved here and it was super hard and super chaotic and just so much, yet I apparently was meant to be here. So sometimes, and I've had this happen with tattoos, I've had this happen with so many things in life where, like, I will intuitively set myself up not knowing, and then years later I'll be like, oh, Lara, you're so smart. You didn't know, but you knew. So, yeah. According to astrocartography, I'm exactly where I need to be right when I need to be there. So, there are no coincidences in life. Yeah. So, like, where I am now is a place that I'm meant to be for my personal growth, development, happiness. It's kind of a big deal. And again, I set myself up years ago not ever knowing that I was putting myself right where I needed to be. So, it's weird. I don't know how else to put it. It's, sometimes when really big things happen and they're really great, I'm like, oh, God, Lara, you really set yourself up. And then when really bad things happen, but I'm like, yeah, Lara, you really set yourself up. You set yourself up for a beautiful lesson to learn and grow and expand. So, being the master of your own life is realizing that you are responsible for both the good and the bad. The hard, and like, even the hard stuff is meant to help us transform and grow in a beautiful way that we never would have before. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. No coincidences, right? Only time will tell. Apparently, like, Spirit said, hey, Sound Bowl, time to come. Like, time will tell. So whatever you were thinking of, if this struck you as weird, but you were just thinking about it, whatever it is, only time will tell. That was the timing. Embrace. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. Realize that we are all integral to each other's healing, love, growth, progress. Through each other, you will find the missing pieces. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull out just a few more, I guess, cat tarot, and then I'm going to hop out. I think I'm going to be done for the day. It's going to be a short little collective, or not short, but just, yeah. We'll move on with Saturday. I am really excited that we are coming out of August. Like, my partner says August is the worst, which I don't think August is the worst, but August is definitely, by this point, we're done with all the heat. We're done with all the trials, the tribulations. Like, come on in, winter, autumn, something cooler, please. Like, cycles ending. Rebirths, cycles ending. Closing out the things that no longer work for us. Scorpio energy. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. All right.
Ten of Cups. When you let go of those things that have held you back, you'll get emotional fulfillment and happiness. Once you've done all the work, be willing to start out on new adventures. I love that these messages just keep coming. That's for me. Apparently, let all those old chapters go. Be willing to move on to new chapters and bring in wish fulfillment, happiness, love, abundance. King of Swords, use logic, discernment, air, energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Use logic, discernment, cut away anything that is no longer bringing you happiness. Be willing to radically put your peace over other people's chaos. And then Ace of Cups, bringing in beautiful love, embodiment, happiness, wish fulfillment, like everything that you want, need, and desire in love. Do not settle. Like, that's a message I've been getting today, is do not settle with things that you know aren't right or don't make you happy. The Magician, alchemize everything within your environment. Use all of the pieces to bring forth like the happiest of your kingdom. Use everything within your environment to bring forth your happiness. And then the Chariot, this is Cancerian energy, fast, rapid movement. This is being sure in what is coming forward. So whatever is coming for you, like once you are willing to take that leap of faith and to close out those heavy chapters and cycles, happiness, love, wish fulfillment, abundance, it all comes in for you, and it comes in rapidly. So be willing to step out when you're scared and you don't know what's going to happen. Be willing. 9 of Swords, if you have had all of those swords in your back, rise above the pain, rise above, like, let go of all of that pain, that betrayal, that heartbreak. Ace of Cups, again, bringing in that love, that wish fulfillment, emotional abundance. Let go of the betrayals, the heartbreaks, the pain. Be willing to cut through those emotions. 9 of Wands. Again, this is putting down those burdens, those passions that are no longer sustaining you. They're just draining you. 6 of Cups. How do you need to be looking at the past, present, future to bring in your happiness? And how will balancing of the emotional cups bring in justice for everything that has happened? So, let's see, this other card up in here. 7 of Pentacles. How have you been leaving yourself in financial lack? How have you been maybe pouring into financial options, investments, opportunities that aren't giving you returns? So be mindful of people, places, things that want to like rob you of your stability but don't actually return. Like Ace of Swords, use logic, use that logical discernment, use that offer to cut away what doesn't work for you. I love the Ace of Swords. This is the Cat Tarot. Ace of Swords is like they're getting their nails cut. Like, yeah, it's a logical decision to cut their nails. It's not fun. It's hard to do. But unless you want to have all of that betrayal, those swords in your back, you gotta cut it. Yeah. I have so many decks. I think I talked about that yesterday. I love having all of the beautiful decks, but I love the card, like the Cat Tarot, being a cat lady. So we have the Star. How are you being the star of your own life? How are you testing the boundaries? How are you shining? How are you main character energy? The Star is Aquarius. So this is that energy of Aquarius. They're known to be like and we just entered the age of Aquarius. So Aquarius is enlightenment. Aquarius is also the water bearer. And even though it's the water bearer, Aquarius is air sign. Because we must carry that conduit, that channel
for higher evolution. So Aquarius is typically about humanitarian. Like, yes, they're shining, but they're shining that light on the bigger picture. How are you moving past those things that have held you back to be the star of your own life? Use logic, use discernment. If you're looking at offers, make sure you're looking at all of the offers. Make sure it's making you happy. Shiver of Libras, Shiver of 3 Libras, sorry my love. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. If you have questions, come on in. If you like my vibe, you know, I'm here. Okay. So the Libras here. So I'm the 30th, September 30th. So don't, like, remember how I was like, oh yeah, we're de-thawing our crowns, man. We're like getting ready. Our scepters are coming, our crowns, like we're just ready to go. Yes. My tattoo girl was September 26th. And her and I had, like, I went in for a birthday tattoo. I think when I was 19 or 20. May have been, I think it was 19. I think it was my 19th birthday. I went in for a birthday tattoo on her birthday because hers is the 26th. And I was like, oh. So it was nice to have, like, a Libra twin because I know it seems like there's a lot of Libras, but I really don't feel like there are. And we're kind of little spiritual badasses. So, you know, we are in a breed of our own being Libras. And I love it. So, yeah. Okay. So Libra gang, we'll be having a party end of September, right? Up in here. We'll do like a little Libra tarot party. Oh, okay. Justice. Dealing with a King of Cups. King of Cups. So, okay. You know what though? I'm gonna have to check out some of these songs here. So Leos, I have love for Leos as well, like kind of. Like Leos and I have challenging relationships, except for they also help us grow. And I love Leos because you remind us to live in our royalty and our, like, you remind us to be a king and a queen and to be royalty and have strength and perseverance, even when the whole world is coming at us. Like, Leos are one of those, like, they could be set to be, and they would still be, like, walking up there wearing the crown, being like, yeah, I don't care that we're doing this thing. I'm royalty. I'm not going to be below it. So, Leos are amazing. King of Cups. This is dealing with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, male. Maybe having to deal with that justice. Like, maybe they've been dogging you. I know that that's a message for me, so I'm super happy there's justice coming with the King of Cups. This is, again, 9 of Swords. After coming with betrayals, heartbreak, like, you gotta rise above. You gotta be willing to cut yourself out of those. So as a Libra, how are we using those swords to cut ourselves out of unfair, unjust situations with people that have maybe been playing carelessly with us? So I love that for us. Yeah. Okay. All right. Shiver of 3 Libras. Okay. All right. Well. So, Shiver of 3 Libras, you just came out of birthday season for you. How was August for you, my love? Because some of my Leo friends were not doing so well during birthday season. We had to baby step to the exit of August with my Leo friends this year because it was rough. Okay, pardon me. Yeah, okay, well, we're here. We can all embrace. We can all, you know. Yes, oh my gosh, but here is the thing that I explain, and I am one that I'm never, like, a lover of my birthday, except for I am. It's weird. That, like, the 2 weeks. Bye, beautiful love. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Can't wait to talk to you soon. Enjoy dinner. enjoy dinner, enjoy studying. I will be doing so myself later. Safe travels. Thank you. Anyway, so like the 2 weeks leading up to your birthday typically, and the 2 weeks leading afterwards, it's like the universe is trying to shake you and say, hey, this is another period, like we're coming up for review. What have you accomplished since your last circle around the sun? So yes, when it comes up to our birthday, so like when we're marching through Leo season, are like, oh, it's just so hard. Well, that's because the universe is saying like, hey, are you ready to be promoted to your next level for the next year? Like, what work have you done? Like, it isn't meant as a punishment, it's meant as like a progress point. Like, how have you progressed since your last birthday? So, well, people say like, oh man, my birthday season kicked my butt. Well, that was just preparing you for your next, like, how are you preparing for your next role in this evolution around the world? Like, have you grown? So the planetary energy right now is just super heavy and challenging though. And my biggest piece of advice I always give on that is breathe, drink your water, meditate, rest. So when it gets heavy, it gets hard. Like if you like, I love to do this because I've had like a ton of things thrown on my shoulder and it's been so just daunting. And it's like, I can't do anything about this right now. The only thing I can do is just catch my breath and take a drink of water and breathe. And even if you just take 3 seconds to catch your breath, like even 3 seconds, be like, for 3 seconds, I'm not going to hold on to my pain. It starts giving you mental clarity because even if you take 3 seconds to be like, I'm just not going to stop and like, I'm not going to think about my pain for 3 seconds. And then you can start holding that vibration and that frequency longer. So when you're mentally chaotic and it's super hard and stressful, how can you even take like a 30-second break to be like, you know what? My problems don't affect me. And 30 seconds isn't very long, but that's 30 seconds longer than I had before. So when you get heavy and you get like just chaotic, like how can I take that minute to pause and tap into my own body? I'm going to do a quick little sound bowl ring to give all of us just a moment to breathe and collect and sink down into that energy. So let's do a little energy release, okay? Let me find. So take a big breath in and blow it out. Yes. Okay, shiver of 3 Libras. We're going to say your mantra out for this. What's for me will find me. What's meant for me can't miss me. Breathe into that. What's for me will find me. What's for me can't miss me. What is for me will find me, and what is for me cannot miss me. So I love to add this. What I desire desires me. What I seek is seeking me. What I chase is chasing me. If it keeps calling you, it is for you. If you keep seeing a certain place, vision, person in your mind, even if it makes you feel like you're crazy, it's meant for you. That is your subconscious saying, hey, that dream that's calling you, it's going to keep calling to you until you're brave enough to answer the door. Okay? What is for you will not pass you by. And actually, if you're trying to pass what is for you by, it will chase you down. It will knock on your door. It'll be like, hey, Ann, I heard you want this really cool thing. Why aren't you answering the phone? What is for you will find you. It's chasing you. I love to also do the law of assumption. Right? So you have got to assume that whatever you want, it wants you, which we know, right? Because if it wants you, you want it, and it's you're pulling it in. You also have to assume that it's already yours. Like, man, like if you want a Ferrari, you're like, oh, I want a Ferrari. You have to assume that it's already yours. Like, what job are you driving what job are you driving to in your Ferrari? What does your Ferrari smell like? What does it feel like to start your Ferrari up? What custom features are you going to have on that Ferrari? Like, who are you riding in that car with? You have to assume that it's already yours and feel it in your body. If you want something, you start feeling it in your body, and that's how you pull it in faster too. So if you're like, I feel it. Like, I feel happiness when I think of that envisionment that I love. So, like, when I think of, like, my future vision, it's like when I'm envisioning that, what do I feel in my body when I have that dream? So when you can see it in your mind and then start feeling in your body what your dream feels like, you'll start pulling it in faster. Yes, you have to be willing. Like, I'm the queen of not truly, I mean, I care what people think, and yet I don't too. Because I'm like, if I don't respect your life decisions, I'm not going to respect your opinion. Like, I've had a lot of people try to, like, come for me and be like, oh, well, you should be doing this. Dude, your life's a train wreck, and I don't agree with how you're living, so your opinion doesn't matter. And if you don't like that, that's fine. I don't have to interact with you. Like, I was a people pleaser. I wanted to be loved by everybody, and now I'm like, you know what? I would rather you not like me. Like, I had somebody bash me on social media yesterday, and he tried being like, well, I do this. I'm like, yeah, please leave. Please go. I don't want you here hanging on my energy. Like, when people don't like you, that's thank you. Goodbye. Have a great day. I love it. I love telling people to fuck off. Especially so that I can have the life I want. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I am. I don't know yet. You gotta get over it, baby. And I know if you need help, we can role play. We can script through it. We can get on the phone. If you want to stop people pleasing, we can get on the phone and start role playing that. Because, yeah, let's get out of the script of you need to fill your cup first. Your cup. Because if you don't fill your cup, no one else can. If you don't know how to love yourself first, no one else can know how to love you. So you gotta learn how to love you and make you happy first. If it's not a hell yeah, it should be a fuck no. Like, if you're not like, set your world on fire, your hair is like streaming in the wind, you're like, yeah, it's the best thing ever. Please don't do it. Please don't. Because this life is too fragile to be anything less than like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And that's a lesson I need. Like, the things that make me feel, I need to start being like, you know what? Like, you have to, like, swift logic. Like, just, yeah, fill your cup. Fill your cup. Because it's that whole concept of, like, the fact that I'm going to use an aviation term just kind of is upsetting for me, but for various reasons. If the plane's going down and the oxygen mask drops, you have to put yours on before you can put anybody else's on. Because if you pass out while you're trying to help your kid, your kid's not going to be able to get out without you. So you have to put your mask on first. You have to stabilize yourself first. Fill your cup, love yourself first. Fill your cup first so that other people can be taken care of too. Because when your cup's filling and overflowed and you can do that for yourself, then you can also help other people. You also have to know when to not fill other people's cups though. Like, that's been a huge lesson, discernment, is that I can't keep filling for people that can't fill me ever. And it's not that they're horrible people, it's not that they're selfish, they are just incapable. A lot of times people, it's like they don't do it because they're trying to be intentional, they do it just because they aren't capable. And honestly, as a society, we need to be having those conversations more of like, I can't meet this need. Like, we need to be willing to say like, yes, I can, or no, I can't. But we need to be willing to be more honest with each other. Like, when we lie to other people, like if we're people pleasing, we say, oh yeah, I can pick up your dog every Tuesday from the groomers, but you have a meeting every Tuesday that you can't do it. Like, you're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being fair to yourself, and you're not being honest or fair with that other person, because it's not like you're not capable. It's not that you don't want to, it's just you're not capable. So we need to start looking at other people too. Like, when they drain our cup, it's not that it's personal, or it's not that they're doing it intentionally. It's like they are just incapable of realizing that they can't fill that need. So sometimes it's walking away from other people because you have to protect you because they can't. I don't know if that hopefully makes sense.
It is painful. It is hella painful. Except for, it's also necessary. Like, the relationship, I came out of like a huge karmic life cycle relationship. And it was one of those, like, no matter how much I loved that person and no matter what, like, tie we had, if I stayed, I was going to end. Like, I had to realize, like, I looked in that mirror and I said, if I stayed, I'm going to end up being buried here. And I can't do that. So it was like, I had to love myself and protect myself enough to get away from there. Yeah, and it's hard as hell, and people call you selfish and this, that, and the other thing, but I gave up drinking because it was like, I realized that drinking and hanging out with those people was poisoning me and that I was going to perish if I stayed. So be brave enough to walk away. I'm telling you, both. Walk away. It looks hard as hell. It's able to be done. I've done it. Put yourself first. If you stay and you know you are going to die, love yourself enough to get out of there. Love yourself enough. Like, if I stayed, it was either going to be cirrhosis, because we were both drinking. So it was like, either it was going to be depression, self-harm, cirrhosis, cancer, domestic violence. I was in a monogamous committed relationship for a long term. I found out I was the only one. So you have to love yourself enough that when the other person can't protect you, you have to protect you. Yes, my love. So be willing to pour into yourself. So here is the thing the Matrix doesn't want you to know. If you want to become uncontrollable, fall in love. Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with earth. Fall in love with nature. Like, for me, it was like I was in a huge depression and funk from the age of 7 until the age of 38. And for me, it was, I started seeing flowers when I had never been able to see them before. It was like I had this veil, this like glasses where I couldn't see anything other than just gray. And when I started seeing the beauty in life, like, I started noticing flowers, I started noticing animals and little things. It's like you start to come alive and you start to fall in love with the simple and the really big things, and you'll start realizing staying in that toxic relationship is never worth it. Like, when you start realizing that you love simple things like flowers more than you ever love going home and dealing with that toxic person yelling at you, you're going to fight like hell to get out, no matter what it is. So, okay, we're on a vibe, right? When the vibes align, we find each other. So you found me because it's like I have that story that you're like, oh man. So I am here to tell you, you can get out. It can be done. It's, like I say, painful as hell, but it can be done. If you want to know about it, we can talk about it. And you want to know about spiritual shit, we can talk about it. Like, I've got so many different experiences. Like, I talk about all the time, like, I've had all kinds of magic thrown on me. I've had all kinds of demons try to possess, like, to attach to me. I've had all kinds of just stuff. And even with experiences with other people with our soul ties, like, I've experienced soul shocks and soul fractures and splits and all kinds of weird stuff that no one would understand. But once you experience it, you're like, oh, like, yeah. It's been a weird ride. And yet, when you start waking up to who you are, you'll never allow another person to try to dim your light again. And that is the thing. Once you start waking up and realizing that they're trying to dim your light, they'll never be able to again. So, like, if you have someone that intentionally tries to hurt you, once you realize that they truly are onto it that way energetically, you block them. Like, anything they try to ever send you again is ineffective. Because you know. And once you know, it doesn't hold power over you anymore. Just like when you unpack your trauma, like, yes, it still holds power over you, but, like, it doesn't hold power. I can work through it, my love, with you. It's really freaking hard. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this is all beautiful things I love to talk about, and I love that we are here in this community together, because yes to the trauma bonds, and it hurts like hell, and it, like, the amount of pain, like, I've brought forth such, like, deep seated pain. Like, this is general. So when you look at your family doing witchcraft on you, and I've had spell work like crazy, like death magic, like I've had a ton of death magic sent on me, binding, burial magic, all kinds of stuff, right? I don't know where I was going with that. I guess once you start realizing it, you start sending it back. But okay, so where I was going is like that deep generational trauma, like the stuff that's been done on us from our family, that's like deep generational curses. They were never, and we have to look at it and say like, yes, you did that, but it wasn't like personal. It was like they didn't know any better because they've been conditioned. That being said, though, they do still have to be held accountable because they had free will and free choice. So I love, like, this is where you return to sender. Like, I don't ever get baneful. I don't send people magic. I don't hex. I hold a different spiritual rank. So hexing, like, I had someone try to come in and they're like, yeah, I want you to hex something. I'm like, no. I don't dirty my hands like that, because the hexing carries different weight and different problems. So, and hopefully that makes sense. Or if you ever want to know any more about all of that, we can talk about all of that too. You can email me, SirenSongLover@yahoo.com. I'm also at SirenSongLover, IN. SirenSongLover, IN. I'm all over the place, but, you know, it happens. Because when we find someone that, like, we can resonate with, it's like, okay, I'm not the only one. Someone else has gone through this too. I get it. Or, you know, it makes you feel like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. And this is stuff people don't talk about. People don't talk about witchcraft. People don't talk about spiritual warfare. People don't talk about how ugly and nasty their families are. They just talk about, like, oh, let's get the next BBL, or did you see someone getting a breast lift, or, like, no. Why aren't we talking about breaking the generational curses of poverty and trauma? Why aren't we talking about breaking the generational curses of sexual abuse? Why aren't we breaking down the generational curses of greed and lying and thievery? Like, if we want better for our future, we have to be willing to take a stand and break it for ourselves now. Hopefully that wasn't too much soapbox. I finally got tired. Like, this is where it goes. I got tired, stood 10 toes down. I stand 10 toes down against whole family systems that have thrown me witchcraft. I mean, whole families. I've had multiple families band together to work against me. And I, as a single woman, have stood 10 toes down. Ironic that you put Twister in there, because I've had weird tornado experiences where we moved to. And yes. Okay, but here's the thing. It is so hard to do, but we are the ones to do it because we are brave enough and we are strong enough. No one else was strong enough to do it before you. So by God, stand proud in that. It hurts like hell and it's hard, but you were the ones your ancestors have prayed and waited for, and you are the ones that the ancestors are going to pray and bless with all of that inheritance that they've been holding back because your family couldn't get it together until you came along. So I know it's hard, but your gains are coming, my friend. Do not deny your ancestral trauma, but also do not deny your ancestral blessings. Your ancestors worked so hard so that you could be here today. Your grandmama stayed in those hard relationships so that you could say no, and that you could walk away, and that your kids could have a better life. Don't throw that away, my friend. And please realize how precious you are, that you are willing to stand up and do it. It's not easy. Whew. Okay, now you got me tearing up. What the fuck? Okay. All right. This is all catharsis, releasing. This is all the intention, right? This is collectively. How do we heal it? How do we heal it? Because when you heal it, the teeny tiny steps that you make and that you heal has such a profound ripple effect. Do not ever underestimate the tiny grain of healing and love that you spread. Yeah. All right. I'm going to ring the sound bowl because that was, that was some heavy-ish up in here. All right. All right, my loves. Take a big breath in. We're going to go for some womb healing. Does not matter, masculine or feminine. We all have womb space. That is where our creativity sits. So let's do some deep healing in the womb. So take a big breath in. Blow it out. I am brave enough to break the generational curses that my family could not. All right. Whew. All right. Anybody want to ask any questions? Anybody want to talk about some heavy stuff? If you want to ask any spiritual questions, please ask. If you want to ask any tarot questions, please ask. If you just want to talk about life in general, please yes. Oh my gosh. I have some videos which, oh my gosh. I need to start posting them everywhere more, but like TikTok, like I've been doing some energetic releases. Like the other day was my brother's birthday, the anniversary of my brother's birthday. He passed away 14 years ago, and the other day I was releasing those generational wounds and traumas and curses that he carried that he could definitely never get rid of. So yeah, definitely shaking it off. I'm out there like belly dancing, I'm out there twerking, I'm like outside grounding, twerking, dancing. I do a lot of time-lapse videos of those energetic clears. I do time-lapse videos, and I post those up on TikTok and Facebook and stuff. But I do like time-lapse videos of when I do breathwork meditations. Looks scary as hell, but completely relaxing, transforming. Like you can see the energy come off. I also do it with like my Kundalini. Yes. I love to do Kundalini yoga, and I love to do time-lapse videos of those too, because you can literally watch it. It's like my body, my aura releases that energetic cleanse. And I had one of my friends she's in an abusive relationship, and she's watched me progress through leaving mine. And I had texted her yesterday, and I was like, if you know, because it's, I need to do this, or I want to do this. And I'm like, man, if you really want to transform your life, you have to change your cellular DNA. Do your Kundalini yoga, do your breath work, do your meditation. If you want to change, you change from the inside out. So start changing on a cellular level. It's hard as hell, but if you want to transform your life, inside out. Yeah. Yeah, I love that the place that I live, I have tons of bare earth that I can put my feet on. I love to do yoga out there. I love to do stretching eventually. And if you're local, if you're ever local or if you're ever around, I eventually want to be doing yoga outside with the cats. I do have a physical location that I can bring clients to do yoga, breathwork, meditation, and that can also be like online led too. But yeah, and if I were to show you pictures of the woman that I was 3 years ago, I don't look the same. I'm in Georgia. I've lost 80 plus pounds since going through my spiritual journey and my transformation. And I'm continually, so my cats, I have Abel and Cain. Because I laugh in the face of society. And they're a ginger and a black cat. But when I first adopted them, they were kittens. They were, between the two of them, they're brothers. They were 4 pounds between the two of them. And when I first moved in, I had lived with other people for 40 plus years.
I never lived alone. I was struggling really hard. I had come out of an extremely chaotic, disruptive environment. Nothing felt safe. And my kittens, I mean, there were points where this is how powerful God is. Like, when I was having a hard time and I needed to get down on my knees and pray, the universe would humble me by making my 4 pounds of kitten bring me to my knees. So those kittens are amazing healers, and even 4 pounds of kitten can reduce you to absolute blubbering mess on your knees. So that is how powerful the universe will come to talk to you. When I first moved in though, and I first adopted my boys, and it was so lonely, like they were a month old, and they would hold my feet while I would do meditation. Like I would be doing breath work and I would just be struggling. And I'm talking about like dredging up like decades of pain. Like I've processed through a miscarriage that happened 20 years ago. And my cats, yep. And cats are natural walking crystals, and they naturally will go to the people that need healing the most. That's why, like, people that hate cats gravitate them, because the cat knows that they need healing, and the vibration, the purring of the vibration is a natural healing frequency. But my kittens I would be doing a hard breath work, and like I say, just struggling and processing heavy shit. Like I say, a miscarriage from 20 years ago that I didn't have time or couldn't process 20 years ago, they helped me process through. They would hold, with their little paws, they would hold my big toe. And I mean, it's a cat, right? Yet at that point, I know that I am protected and loved, and that I'm watched over, even if it's by a 2-pound cat. And one of the other cats would lay like on my back while I would do a breath work. So yeah, they know, and they're such beautiful healers. And my cats are very integrative in the healing process and the spiritual journey. The other part of it is when the cat distribution system picks you, that is a huge honor. Like having cats and truly having cats. Like, yeah, people have cats, but they don't truly like their cats always. But like to have cats and truly understand the power of that, it's a big deal to take care of cats, because that's your guardian, that's your ancestor, that's like your protector. So when you are gifted a cat, that means like you are ready to go on the next journey in your life. And if you have multiple cats, that means like you are, like for me, I've got so many kitties, but they do. All of my kitties have like a person they're attached to. So it's like I'm the guardian of the guardians. Like I take care of the guardians, the animal guardians that are the guardians of the humans. And hopefully that makes sense. I had talked earlier in the stream about how I matchmake, yes. I matchmake animals to their humans. So, like, I am the guardian of guardians until the humans come along. So, I love that you say that. Cats are protectors in the spiritual realm. So, you know how they say, like, cats catnap? That's because they literally have 1 foot in the spiritual realm and 1 foot in the physical realm. And that when they see things, that's them seeing creatures. They also, like, we were considered, and I consider them guardians too. Like typically cats will have like a personality of someone in your family, in your life, that like resonates with you, that brings wisdom. So cats are amazing for that. Also, like during the like plague, they would say women that, they would consider women that had cats were witches, because they wouldn't get sick from the plague. It wasn't that they were witches, they were protected by the cats. So cats truly do have, like, they protect our spiritual realms, they protect our physical realms too, with rodent control and stuff like that. Cats are also very discerning. Like, if you want to know if food is bad, try feeding it to a cat. Because if they won't touch it or eat it, I wouldn't eat it either. And I know that sounds, but like when people would leave offerings to their ancestors, like if you think of leaving a piece of your food for the cat, if they don't want to eat it, you probably shouldn't eat it either. Like that's a prime example with like rotten, spoiled food. They won't eat spoiled food because they won't intentionally make themselves sick unless they absolutely have to. Like cats Cats are very evolutionarily intelligent. Dogs are typically like our protectors of the physical realm. So they're like, I like to think of my dog. He was like a temple dog, like a Egyptian temple dog. So he's the protector of that physical realm. I do get mad though. I have 5 cats, and none of them are apex predators. They like will all watch like critters walk by, and I'm like, am I gonna get that? Y'all just gonna play with him? Aww. Yeah. Cat. I love cats. Like, I have a funny story about karma and people being jerks. It all worked. I knew where you were going, but that worked too. So cats will enact. Cats are sassy, but I've had cats that will poop in places they're not supposed to because people are being mean to me. Like, my cats will retaliate against people that are mean. So cats are beautiful in delivering karma even too, and we can talk about that. All right, I'm Lara Jo, SirenSong lover. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Cat Tarot deck. We're just hopping in here because that's what's in my hand. If you'd like to tip, you can tip here, or hashtag capital S for Siren, capital S for Song, capital L for Lover. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Let's see. Ace of Pentacles. Money is flowing. A money offer is coming to you. This comes with justice, Libra energy. So Ace of Pentacles, you're getting your financial rewards after justice is coming. We are just about to head up into Libra season. So justice is coming, and she's looking for revenge. The High Priestess. This is Libra energy. How are you alchemizing what is in your environment? And you see how I got the kitty cards out? So, yep, we're going to do a few cards, and I got the kitty cards out. So, High Priestess, Libra energy, how are you alchemizing and using everything within your environment to create your best world ever? How are you taking the lessons that you've learned? This is 3 of Cups. How are you taking the betrayals, the heartbreaks from the past, and allowing it to bring in financial abundance? Allow justice to play. If you've been in 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups, any betrayal energy where you've been left out in the cold, that justice is going to come, but you have to let it play out. Let's see. And you have to be willing to use all of the factors in your environment to get the best possible outcome. Let's see. Ooh, okay. I love this card. And so 8 of Swords is always about mental imprisonment. And this looks like one of my kitties that I absolutely adore. But 8 of Swords, this is like, you are fighting yourself. Stop fighting yourself. 8 of Swords, this is a fight with yourself that is not necessary. So stop doing it. Don't fight the wind if you don't have to, because you're wasting resources, you're wasting energy that you need to be using to conserve. Yeah. I've had to tell grown men, like, I called a grown ass man out on fighting the wind, and I said, you're gonna fight the wind, and then you're gonna get mad, and you're gonna be like, F you, Lara. And literally, I did see him start throwing punches with the air, and then he got mad, and he yelled at me. He's like, F you, Lara. I was like, what? Because I saw that you were so angry that all you wanted to do was fight the wind because you needed to get that energy out. Stop fighting yourself. Let yourself out. Like, this was a quote I said to my partner the other day. I go, the unlocked door is waiting to be open. Like, the door is unlocked. You can walk through it at any time. So why are you sitting in that prison cell fighting with yourself over things that aren't necessary to fight with yourself about? Why are you doing it? Is that fun? Is it productive? 2 of Pentacles. This is robbing you of your financial stability. Stop. If they left you for another person, why are you waiting around for them? If they thought the grass was greener elsewhere, why are you going to wait around for them? Fill your cup. Like, I'm a huge, like, if they wanted to, they would. So when people are like, oh, I wanted to. Okay, cool. Well, someone else wanted to, so they showed up instead. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, I guess that's part of it too, is like mentally, you have to start like mentally stop fighting with yourself when you know the answer. Like, if people aren't showing up, why are you fighting around to keep a space open for them? Like, if they wanted to show up, they would. And I know that's harsh to say. And, you know, people say, well, other things happen. Well, no, man, like, if somebody wants something, they will stop at nothing to get it. So, yeah. Yeah. If people left you for another option, let them continue that piece. Let them continue that elsewhere. And I know that's like, yeah. I had to do a lot of that too. It was like I was staying in situations that were robbing me of happiness. It was robbing me of resources. They were filling other people's cups, and I had to be like, why am I keeping myself in these mental prisons for people? Like, if you had to make someone else, like, if you had to make me uncomfortable to make someone else more comfortable, please choose them. So this was using that intuition. The beautiful thing with the high priestess, this is that intuition. You are intuitively led to know, like, hey, this is not, don't feel obligated. If the tables were turned, would he stay for you? If he wouldn't, keep going, my love. And don't say try. Be like, I am going to leave. Like, start saying that. Put that in your vocabulary. Start envisioning, what does your life look like after you leave? What does Sunday morning look like after you leave that situation? Because for me, it's like, I started, years ago, but this really did help keep the faith and keep me going, was like, what does Sunday morning look like when I'm with the love of my life? And yeah, I was doing that when I lived with my ex, right? And I've been with my ex for almost 2 decades. Like, what does Sunday morning look like when I'm happy and in love? Does that look like breakfast in bed with my lover instead of, and them bringing me coffee? Or does it look like what I've lived my whole life, which is getting up and say, I'm leaving. You don't even have to say when I leave. It's, I'm leaving. Like, start, like I say, envision, what does your life look like without this obstacle in your way? What does your job look like? What does your diet look like? And I know that's all over exhausting, but start thinking about, like, if you could only eat this certain type of food because of that person in your life, what does it look like when you go to the place that you want to eat at? What does it look like when you go see movies you want to do? What do the activities look like that you want? Start filling your cup, my love. Like, the song Sunday Kind of Love by Etta James had just been playing over time in my mind, because, like, when I moved onto this property that I live on, it was super hard. And yet all I could think of is slow down, because I lived with someone that when they were around, it's like it always had to be up and blah, blah, blah. So it was like, when I started envisioning, like, what a beautiful life would look like with a new person, what Sunday would look like, it was like, I want to be outside with a gallon of sweet tea, barefoot dancing in the yard with the love of my life on Sunday, listening to slow jams, because that's what I want my Sunday to look like. I don't want Sunday to ever be chaotic and hectic again. Like, if you have the life of your dreams, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What are you wearing? Like, not when I leave, it's what does my life look like when I build it the way that I want to, and it's beautiful. Yeah? Okay. Be brave enough to build a life for you. You deserve happiness. That is something I've had to tell myself. I deserve happiness. I deserve all the abundance, the luxury, the love in the world. I deserve it. You deserve it. So what does your Sunday look like in your most beautiful life? What does your future look like? Like, that's what we have to start looking like. What does it look like 10 years from now? What does the most beautiful life look like 10 years from now? Not what does it look like an hour from now? What, like, I don't know. Start being brave enough to dream of a brighter future for you, because you deserve to have happiness. You have made it through so many trials, tribulations, hard times. Be brave enough to say, I deserve happiness. I deserve love. Regardless, because here's the thing. No one's going to help you find your happiness. You have to find your happiness. Both of my sound bowls, I like ding both my sound bowls right within all of that. Justice, the people that have been keeping you back, the hands, like the people that have been biting the hand, that justice is being served. King of Pentacles, this will bring out financial abundance, balance. Like, be brave enough. Be brave enough to let justice fall, because all of the hard stuff's already been done. That's like what we also forget, right? Like when we go through really hard stuff, we're like, oh, it's so hard. All the hard stuff's been done. Now you just gotta pick up the pieces where they land. So once justice is fallen, once it's served, all the hard stuff's been done. Breathe. Even for 30 seconds. Like, that's, oh gosh. When really hard stuff, scary things happen, it's like, okay, take 30 seconds to breathe before you jump into action. I know that sounds impossible, but I had been in a tricky situation with my kids a few months ago, and they were scared because I was calm. And I stayed calm through the whole situation. I waited till we were home, packed in, to finally like decompress. And they're like, it's so scary because you were so calm. And I was like, yeah, because I had to take 30 seconds to breathe, see the situation, and then move forward. Because if I had just gone straight into jumping in, yeah, I would have been freaked out. Be willing to like step back and breathe and pause for a second before you jump into the fire in the frying pan. Like, it's already been done. It's already there. You know it's happening. You know you gotta get through it, but just breathe before you jump in. Okay? Alright, let's see. Woo! The Chariot, death. Okay, so death, there's endings. Remember how I said, like, all the hard work's been done. All those cycles are closing. I love what the Kitty Tarot, the death is the vacuum. I know this, when I call out the vacuum, my kitties go running. So it really is the death card. The Chariot, this may be dealing with water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So death is Scorpio, Chariot is Cancer. Heavy emotions. The hard part with the water signs, well, they're the emotion-based sign. They're like the lack of emotion-based sign when we're dealing with them. Water signs, I love you, but you really have got to figure out how to get your waters in check. That's just a rant. Maybe from dealing with the King of Cups. So let those endings, those cycles close out. And we're just coming up, like we're closing out a cycle in Pluto, which is all about death, energy, transformation, reformation. Capricorn's going back, like Pluto, Capricorn, it's all going back into retrograde for just a little tiny bit. And that's closing out, clearing out all of those chapters. Let them go. Let the recycle, like let the rebirth cycles keep transforming. So, Chariot, this is again potentially dealing with Cancer. This is also dealing with that rapid movement forward, knowing what you want, being decisive. Queen of Wands, this is having everything that you want. This is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your life is complete. It's full. When we get justice, when everything falls, how do we build that life that we love the most? How do we start building our beautiful palace that is warm and comfy and has all of the passions and desires that we want? When everything falls apart, how do you rebuild that life? Like, please do not get stuck in lamenting about what you lost, and please be excited about how do we build a new future. Like, I looked at for so long, like, oh, I lost this, I lost that, blah, 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 blah. No, like, how do I get to rebuild a life that I love for me the most?
How do you get to build the Queen of Wands? How do you get to rebuild a life? Like, when all of those things fall and it falls apart, the chapters end, there was rapid movement, like it just happened all of a sudden. Like, how do you rebuild the most beautiful life for yourself? How do you build a life full of passion for you and no one else? You can have other people in your life, but build your passion first. 3 of Pentacles, it'll leave you in financial lack if you keep trying to build for other people. Build your happiness. Don't devote money to other people. This may require you to hermit. The Hermit is Virgo energy. This is, how are you healing yourself? Go within to find the answers that you need. Be willing to hide away from everyone else and go into your shell to find the information, find the answers after destruction and like financial losses. Go within so you can build the most beautiful life for yourself. All right. I am Lara Joe, SirenSong Lover. If you'd like to tip here, you can. Otherwise, Cash App, Siren, capital S, Song, capital L, S, Lover, capital L. Knight of Cups. How are you moving forward in your emotions? Are you being responsible or irresponsible? Do you need to emotionally be investing in different areas? How are you building? How are you becoming maybe more emotionally intelligent? This goes with 8 of Cups. You've put in the hard work. You've put in the hard work. So rest, breathe, take time to yourself, assess, breathe, rest. I know. I said all over again. That is the whole point. Breathe, rest, drink your water, meditate, take it easy. When everything's really hard, take it easy. Knight of Pentacles. This is growing those finances. It's slow, it's steady, but you are growing it. Capricorn energy. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Pentacles. This is Earth. You're building your finances. You're building your stability. Ace of Cups, when you start getting your finances on board, Ace of Cups, you will bring in love, emotions, the offer that you want the most. And Knight of Wands, this is, how are you chasing those passions to build the life that you want the most after everything's fallen apart? Take time to yourself, release yourself from mental imprisonments, release yourself from fighting with yourself over things that no longer matter. And let it go. Okay. Hopefully all of that makes sense. I'm gonna hop into a different deck, I think. I don't know. All right. I am Lara Joe. Should you have any questions, should you just want to chat, should you want to say hello, please do. If you like my vibe and you want to join my tribe, please do that. If you want to check out anything else, I'm also on YouTube. You want to send to my ministry, that is always appreciated. All of the tools, all of the information, reaching out to people, it's hard, it's expensive, it's a lot. Donations are always appreciated. Let's see. And I think I'm gonna go. Let's see. Ooh. I'm gonna take a moment. Take a drink of water. Take a drink of energy drink. Vape for a second. And then we're gonna get into the deep, dark, and dangerous oracle. We're gonna switch. Oh, my drink's empty. That makes me sad. Oh, okay. My love, thank you for coming by. I hope to see you again. Safe travels. If you need encouragement, if you need anyone to talk to, please reach out to me. You can always, you can find me on Facebook, SirenSong Lover Inc. You can find me on YouTube. You can email me, SirenSongLover@yahoo.com. Please come back. Please touch base with me. If you need anybody to talk to, if you ever need just encouragement on getting out or just, again, someone to talk to, please do. I've been there. I've done it. I'm here to help guide the way to freedom. wherever I can. Okay. It was a pleasure to meet you. So happy. All right. So, deep, dark, and dangerous. Let me take another sip of water. I'm going to hit the vapey vape for a second. We'll keep going. Can't believe we're marching into August already. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Thank you, universe. I know that's such a teeny, like, I know that's such a, that is how the world works, right? I've been out here trying to get my business going, and albeit just tiny, I just got a teeny tiny token from a source that was unexpected. And that is how the universe works. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. My love, Ireneo 29. So let's talk about spell work, because here is how I started flipping that. Today's energetic workings was protection spell work. And I've had a lot of practitioners and a lot of people send me Eli spell work, witchcraft, energetics, all of it. Kind of all under the same umbrella. Well, today's energetic work was taking the very same tools that they've sold and or charged and or stolen from me and using it to protect myself against them. So the irony, like I have a hoodoo worker that it's complicated with, and it's like I used some of her work that I've paid for, like some of her protection work that I've paid for, and I know she sent stuff against me, so I turned around and used it in my protection work. So I'm like, wait, you tried to use your magic against me, and I used your magic to protect myself. And I did that with some other past people too, was that I took materials from an experience a long time ago that I never thought I would use that somehow came up today. And it was, again, the irony of how the ones who had sent me all of this baneful stuff I am now using to take and build my empire. That is honestly how you start doing it, is when you start taking the hate, the energy that they've sent to you, and you use it to build. It's a whole new level. And like I unlocked that today, where it was, again, they had sent me hate, they had sent me this, that, and the other thing, and I turned around and I used those bricks to help protect and build. So I used their own energy, their own money, and their own resources when they thought they were hurting me to protect myself. And that, I'll just say, is the irony of being a Libra and being walking karma. Like, they tried to hurt me, and instead I was a test for them. And I, again, was turned around to be used. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you're still here. And if you want to talk more about that, we can. That was a funny little irony thing that I noticed today, was that I went to do a lot of protection and ward stuff, and it was all materials against people that had been doing some heavy stuff, so it felt fitting and right and just to be serving that way. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but... Alright, so we're going to go into the deep, dark, and dangerous, see what we're dealing with. I may have to hop out pretty soon. It may be about time to go, but I hope you're having a beautiful evening. I hope you come back and join me. I had a bunch of cards that popped out, but we'll just see if any of these guys fit. And I'm about to lose daylight here, so it might be, not daylight, but there's a storm rolling, so I may have to be heading out pretty soon because I'm losing light. And Mormolokai. I know I'm saying that completely wrong. That feels kind of like a bear. I'm sure I could look these up more. If this is an energy that's calling to you, maybe, or maybe this is something that's a synchronicity that you've come across that is coming out to speak to you. Jormungunder I can't read that very well. Okay. Well, all right. I'm going to hop out. I am Lara Jo, SirenSong lover. I hope you've had a beautiful day. I hope I've brought insight, clearing, energy healing, anything, laughs, tears. If you want to come back and see me, please do. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.